Good day, listeners. Join us on Consume as we challenge the status quo and embark on a journey towards a more mindful, purposeful, and sustainable way of living.
First and foremost, Episode 1, The Intrusive Nature of Consumerism. Now, in our inaugural episode, we delve into the intrusive nature of consumerism and how it permeates every aspect of our lives, society, and the human being as an overall aspect. From targeted advertisements to data mining, we examine how companies invade our privacy in pursuit of profit. Expert guests provide insights into the psychology behind these tactics and offer tips on how to reclaim control over our personal information and online experiences. From its intrusive nature to its manipulation tactics, we uncover the truth behind the glossy facade on endless consumption. Through expert interviews, real-life stories, and through provoking discussion, we shed light on the hidden consequences of our shopping habits and explore alternative paths to a more sustainable and fulfilling way of life. Now, at its core, consumerism is the ideology that encourages the acquisition of goods and services as a primary driver of economic activity and personal fulfillment. While it has undoubtedly fueled economic growth and innovation, its intrusive nature stems from several factors, namely and firstly is 1. Constant advertising, 2. Materialism, 3. Environmental impact, 4. Debt and financial stress, psychology effects as fifth, and 6 as social consequences. Namely, those are the points, the aspects or the nature that stems from the several factors. Now, addressing the intrusive nature of consumerism requires a multifaceted approach that encompasses both individual behavior change and systematic reform. This could involve promoting alternative models of well-being that prioritize experience over possessions, implementing regulations to curb excessive advertising and consumption, and fostering a culture of sustainability conscious and consumerism. So guys, any questions?
Okay, so regarding what you said that consumerism is intrusive, how can you say or what makes you think that it is intrusive?
So, the intrusive thoughts or intrusive nature of consumerism. Now, the intrusive nature of consumerism raises important questions about privacy, data protection, and ethnic of marketing practices. Now, as we know nga, atong government karon is mostly on the society of internet and delves on the economic digital era to be precise. We know nga it works on the same manner. So, we done our transactions, our shopping, our groceries, and etc. or living. So mostly our living is interconnected with the internet. Now, governments around the world have taken various approaches to address these concerns through policies and regulations, as arising from the issues of using the internet can lead to disadvantages and advantages. So forth to say, makaingon ta nga the consequences of abusing, or one could use the internet as a means of abusing or exploiting or extortion to others or individuals. Now, for example per se, some countries have implemented strict data protection laws such as the GDPR in the European Union, which aim to give individuals more control over their personal data and limit how companies can use it for marketing purposes. Now, additionally, there have been discussions and initiatives around transparency in advertising, requiring companies to disclose when they are using target advertising or collecting data about consumers' online behavior. So, nakabantay bitaw ta karon nga nasa website nga mo apply og third cookies bitaw, third party cookies like that. So, makaingon ta din na nga makaingon ta asa na padung, no? I-collect ba na, or it could be used against us. Maybe mingon sila nga na terms and policies, pero the truth is di mo ta mabasa sa term and policy, moingon naman ta nga I agree to these cookies nga na. So so it could be a means to be abused, no, magamit sa maling pamaagi, no. So these governments have also explored ways to promote digital literacy and educate consumers about how their data is being used. So gipaybaw jud, so mo na terms and policies and agreements nga atong i-agree manually and if nakakuan mo din na sa kanabitang ingon ta nga I am not a robot, apil na din na sa website ng
Tunay mga captures.
Oo, again sa to.
Tunay mga captures.
Oh, yes, yeah, correct. Now, that is one way of the many way nga mo protect people develop policies to protect our information and privacy in the thoughts or in the field of consumerism. Now, the thing is intrusive jud ang nature sa consumerism because it could be used to be kada bang mingon ta nga it could be used against us, no? It could protect us, it could store our information digitally, yet it could be in the hands of the wrong person, it could be used against us. Now, however, there are ongoing debates about the effectiveness of these policies and whether they adequately protect consumers from the intrusive tactics of consumerism. As technology continues to evolve, policymakers will likely need to adapt regulation to keep pace with new challenges and developments in the digital landscape. So, a good example if this is kakita ta daron sa US, no, ang TikTok is very heavy regulated or sanctioned sa government. So gi-question jud ang TikTok since ang TikTok is a Chinese-based app software to be precise. So and as we know nga there's an tense going heat escalation between the US and the Chinese government. So US senators ilagay gi-question ang credibility o liability sa TikTok as a worldwide or a say tawag na worldwide or use nga digital. So as we know daghan man mo gamit nga Americans nga TikTok. So maingon na nga that is one of the factors or examples that makes consumerism have a intrusive nature. Now to end it all, I will end my episode by asking my teams on what their thoughts and opinions on my episode. So I would like to pass this on Javier Mozo o unsay iyang thoughts on my episode. So what can you say about it, Javier Mozo?
I thought wait ka na. Ako arang pasabot ato kang Miss Mr. Bolakoy nga explanation is that dili kaayo reliable ang sobraan na pag-consume bitaw kay despite sa advantages na maikahatag ani na pud siya mga disadvantages. For example katong giingon ni Ivan na katong mga kung lagi maka-store siya o kana mga sa pangan ani kani mga informations kintay sa tao, pero oo gamit kayo na siya, pero there are some instances na gamiton po na siya nga information for blackmailing, no? So very dili jud sa nga na ka reliable. So mura to kung nasabtan sa kang Mr. Bolakoy dai. Salamat.
Bitaw sakto ka. So to end it all, to sum it all, so ang one of the kuan gizo din nga topic is kadto gazong when sa TikTok shop. So when you scroll na yung mga stories or experiences nga matinga ang mga TikTokers is ngano daw makaibaw ang TikTok shop ug unsay imong ganahan, ngano kuno mo recommend. So it could be either be just a coincidence or there could be something happening behind that. So overall, that is the intrusive nature of consumerism. So going to episode 2, I am Evelyn Publacoy. Thank you for episode 1. And going to episode 2 is Kate Sifra.
Alright, in episode 2, we will uncover the manipulative techniques used by marketers to persuade consumers to buy. We explore the power of advertising, product placement, and subconscious messaging in shaping our purchasing decisions. We also discuss strategies for resisting manipulation and making more informed choices as consumers. Have you ever wondered why some certain items are placed at the cashier like chocolates, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and while naglinya ka dira para mobayad sa cashier, makahunaw na ka nga, nakalimot ko palit ani butanga. So you'll be manipulated or be attempted or attracted to buy that item because they are placed there to attract you. So in a general sense, sa grocery store, the organization and placement of items play a role in influencing consumer behavior. So it is like a domino effect. Diba? Every aisle, shelf, and product placement kay gitarong dyan na siya arrange para mag-guide ang movements sa shopper and ma-encourage na mo purchase ang nga product. For instance, essential items like milk, eggs, and bread, di ba, are often placed at the back or at the end part of the grocery store para maka-ensure nga ang shoppers makaabot ato mulabay pa na siya sa uban aisles para makaabot ato na area. So this strategic placement kay mas maka-increase sa pag-impulse purchases as ang mga consumers kay mulabay pa sa other products.
Gitudso.
Right.
So mo palit pa og other gitudso mo palit pag other products instead sa ilang essential nga gisig.
Yeah. Correct. So tas ang mga products kay naka-arrange in eye-catching displays or at eye level to attract shoppers' attention, di ba? If not ka sa grocery or bisig asa pa na, naka-arrange na siya related items. Common tactics like di pang group ang related items together, such as placing shampoos next to soaps, nga na ba? Kaya mas dali sa imong mata nga, uy, kailangan di ko ani. So, so if mulapay ka na ay, like sa tissue area, tas mulapay ka soap, makangana ka nga, oy nakalimot kog listaan ni. So if maagian na mo siya dira, may ganyo ka nga mubayan na. So the placement or arrangement of the items are there for a reason. So another is in retail, the power of 99. Di ba? Kaya kuan mo na? Kaya ka ng mga sale.
Instead na murag abi na makabrato bitaw sila pero mao ra day gihapon nana ba
Kanang mga like 299
ana 299 nga ra ba
Muna siya, pricing a product at 99 or 199 or 1,999 instead of 100, 200, 200 may seem a small difference, but it can have a big impact on consumer behavior. So, this pricing strategy known as charm pricing, so it is designed to make the product seem more affordable and appealing to shoppers. Kita, ang paggamit sa 99 instead of 100 taps into the psychology of perception. As consumers, kita tends to focus sa leftmost digit when processing prices. So, as a result, they perceive the product as mas barato bisan gud ang actual difference kay piso ra. So additionally, charm pricing kay maka-create og sense of urgency or impulse buying. Tungod anang ang consumers kay maka-feel compelled to take advantage of what they perceive as a good deal. Mahadlok na ang price kay mo increase or dali ma-sold out ang product kay lagi naka-sale. Kaning pagka-impulse buying nooy maka-increase sales para sa mga retailers. So pwede rin po na ang fear of missing out. Tungkol kay mahadlok kami miss out. Yang uban burger ka na
mga recent trends.
puso na nga trend. So burg
May
makapalit
ganyo
po
po
ka.
ka
example aqua flask
Yeah.
Yes.
Gusto ka mo sabay ba?
Muna, another is the rise of internet behavior, diba? The internet has made it possible to shop online with a vast array of products and services available at our fingertips. Para nang sa TikTok,
Lazada, Shopee,
Muna, sa TikTok,
Amazon.
mag-scroll gari ka sa TikTok niya kaning TikTok
Mukha-
influencer
Yeah.
nag-advertise sa products nga ilang napalit. So murag mainganyo po ka kay hala. Nindot lagi ni nga product nga na. Muna siya, guys.
bitaw
Muna murag unsa pa man.
Like, how do you avoid this?
Okay, so, do you have any suggestions or thoughts about smart choices ng pag-consume? Anyone?
I feel like mag-set ka boundaries in yourself, like i-discipline na may makagalingon nga ningdong ra ka kuan mall kay mag-grocery graduate ka if
so there's a specific goal
yes naay specific like limits og unsa ra jud imuhang paliton para di po ka ma-manipulate sa mga naa sa counter nga mga products nga na be disciplined.
In fairness bitaw pud kanang kuan bitaw ko na maengganyo bitaw or ma-tempt jud nga mo palit like umubutang ta nga mo ingon og on sale pero matingar ka sa on sale kay it's going for weeks, more than weeks na dyan on sale ra pero makaingon ka nga giilad ra masur ka dinhi do. So instead sa mo palit kasi mong needs ug essential agi mong kwarta isto na gud dito sa mga non-essential products. So maingon ra gud pud ko nga unsa may mong ikahatag examples gud nga aron discipline ta din na.
pwede sa ang kanang if mo ato gani kag mag-shop gini ka kanang dapat ang imuhang kwarta di pud mo palabian or kana bitong nagsalig bitaw ka kanang saktor ba nagsalig ka kay daghang kag kwarta bitaw na mo na kung sa pila jud kinahanglanon dapat mura pud to ang gamiton kay proper budgeting ba. Yes.
Okay, so thank you for that. So the next time you find yourself reaching for that impulse purchase or hesitating over a decision to buy, take a moment to consider the factors that play behind your choices before heading to check out. Okay, so if you don't want to be tempted to buy things, you'll make a list and stick to your list when shopping, di ba? The world is big. There are so many fishes out there. So kung di ka gusto matempt, stick to kaniya.
In episode 3, Beyond Materialism, Seeking Meaning in a Consumer Culture. Consumerism promised to fulfill our desires, but does it really deliver on what is important to us? In this episode, we confront the reality that consumerism often falls short in providing deeper sources of fulfillment, such as meaningful relationships, personal growth, and happiness. We hear personal stories of individuals who have found fulfillment beyond material possessions and explore alternative paths to living a more purposeful life. Consumerism is the idea of increasing the consumption of goods and services purchased in the market is always a desirable goal, and that a person's well-being and happiness depend fundamentally on obtaining consumer goods and material possessions. In common use, consumerism refers to the tendency of people living in a capitalist economy to engage in a lifestyle of excessive materialism that revolves around reflexive, wasteful, or conspicuous overconsumption. In this sense, consumerism is widely understood to contribute to the destruction of traditional values and ways of life. Consumer exploitation by big businesses, environmental degradation, and negative psychological effects. Consumerism often fails to deliver on deeper sources of fulfillment, such as meaningful relationships, personal growth, and happiness. While it promises to satisfy desires through material possessions, it often overlooks the intrinsic values that contribute to a fulfilling life. It explores the discrepancy between the promises of consumerism and the reality of truly matters to individuals, emphasizing the importance of seeking fulfillment beyond the acquisition of goods. Now, let's talk about the short story of Teresa Durant I have found in an article, who have found fulfillment beyond material possessions and explore alternative paths to living a more purposeful life. She on a life-altering experience, a house flood that destroyed most of their belongings. This event prompted a profound shift away from materialism towards a more purposeful existence. They realized that possessions don't equate to happiness and began prioritizing experiences, relationships, and personal growth over financial gains. The flood served as a wake-up call, prompting them to reassess their career choices, focusing on meaningful impact and work-life balance rather than chasing higher salaries. Ultimately, they advocate for a life guided by values and experiences rather than material accumulation.
So, unsa mo po imong kaingon din nga alternative to happiness ay ang alternative to financial gains or financial funds or money to be sa genre kung money in the terms of money ra di ba malipay man po kag na kay money no makaingon ka nga money cannot buy things money cannot buy happiness money cannot buy happiness but muto man po ko sa philosophy nga if you have enough money it can buy happiness man you can indulge in being how could you justify in the sense nga money is a the alternative of money or the funds nga itong gigamit which is makes us happy is experience no how could you put it in that same try to convince me ba educate me if you will.
Okay, so paano lang jud tinuod man jud nga money can also buy happiness, so ngana na lang quality over quantity. Pwede makapalit-palit pero quality over quantity na lang, di ba? Instead of chasing after a high volume of possessions, i-emphasize na lang quality over quantity. Ana lang good. Pwede naman siguro na. Diba? Okay na to?
Napabaylay mo kuan kay mo istorya pa ko sa akong kuan dito og napa ba.
Wala na.
So, mora to. I'm going back to you, Mr. Patrice.
Okay, thank you. In conclusion, the story of navigating a house flood and the subsequent shift away from materialism serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of prioritizing experiences, relationships, and personal growth over the accumulation of possessions. It highlights the transformative potential of life-altering events in prompting us to reassess our values and priorities towards a more purposeful existence. By advocating for a life guided by values and experiences rather than material wealth, this narrative encourages us to seek fulfillment in the richness of human connections and the pursuit of meaningful impact. Now, next on episode 4.
Episode 4: The Paradox of Choice.
How does consumerism limit our freedom? Consumerism offers endless choices, but does this abundance actually restrict our freedom? In this episode, we examine how the overwhelming array of options in the marketplace can lead to decision fatigue, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. We also discuss the role of consumer culture in shaping societal norms and limiting our choices in ways we may not even realize. Okay, as I mentioned in my introduction, consumerism restricts our choices and freedom. It makes us fatigue. The abundance of choice in the marketplace can lead to decision fatigue, making it exhausting to navigate through various options and ultimately hindering our ability to inform decisions. And it also promotes social pressures. Consumer culture often reinforces certain societal norms and ideals, shaping our preferences and limiting our choices in ways we may not even realize. For example, the pressure to conform to certain beauty standards or lifestyle trends can restrict individual expression and autonomy. So for example, katong trend ang kanang girly girls in kanang bitawng kuan in women, like ning trend di ba ang girly girls nga mga suoton, makeups. So if imuhang kanang usual style is like siga nga na, so basing ma-pressure ka nga mo fit in ana nga beauty standards. Have you experienced this nga murag na pressure ka tungod sa imong peers? Have you experienced, Mikay? Like, na-pressure ka kay, hala, mo ni ang trend. So, like, dapat mupalit ko ani, ana. Like, have you experienced being restricted sa imong choices?
Di kayo man. Di man ko pa kaibog na tao.
How about you, Atan?
Actually, yes, good. Na-pressure ko nga mo take din ha. Then, gusto ko, when I take that, gusto ko nga mas greater, butang tag quantity, mas times, the greater quantity, the greater the quality. Gusto ko nga, like, pagka-prideful, so gusto ko nga mo over sa unsay naan nila. So, I'm pressure with that, and gusto ko nga nang i-address by crushing, no? Ay butang tag usa ra ila ganahan kog duha, gamay ra ila ganahan kog dako. So, yes, the answer is yes in short.
Okay, so yes, we all feel pressured in buying stuff that we don't even usually need or like we don't even like. So overall, while consumerism promises freedom through choice, it can paradoxically restrict our choices in life by overwhelming us with options, fostering anxiety and dissatisfaction, imposing financial constraints, contributing to environmental harm, and reinforcing our societal pressures. So in this episode, it is understandable that consumerism may restrict our choices as we may like to delve into trends and fit into society. That is all for this episode. Let's move on to episode 5.
On episode 5, Shifting Perspective, Rethinking Our Relationship with Stuff. Our worldviews and characters are deeply influenced by consumerism. But what happens when we challenge these ingrained beliefs? In this episode, we explore the transformative power of shifting our perspective from materialism to mindfulness. Through personal anecdotes and expert insights, we discover how letting go of constant desire for more can lead to greater contentment and fulfillment in life. Episode 5. This description outlines an episode that delves into an impact of consumerism in our lives and the potential benefits of shifting from a materialistic mindset to one centered on mindfulness and contentment. It suggests that challenging the ingrained beliefs of consumerism can lead to transformative experiences and greater fulfillment. Through personal stories and expert opinions, the episode likely explores how letting go of relentless pursuit of possessions can lead to a deeper sense of satisfaction and connection with life. It seems to advocate for a more mindful approach to consumption, highlighting the importance of reevaluating our relationship with stuff in order to cultivate a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. So imagine someone who always feels the need to buy the latest gadget as soon as they're released. They constantly upgrade their phones, computer, or mga earbuds, believing that having the newest technology will make them happier or more powerful. So, however, over time, they realize that despite having all this kanang mga bag-o nga gadgets or mga bag-ong trends, they still feel a sense of emptiness or dissatisfaction. They decide to try a different approach instead of constantly chasing after the next big thing. They focus on appreciating that they already have, and they start practicing mindfulness, taking the time to truly enjoy the present moment and find joy in simple things, like spending time with loved ones or enjoying nature. As a result, they begin to feel more content and fulfilled, realizing that true happiness doesn't come from material possession, but from within and from meaningful experience. So, dili na to kailangan siya i-explain, pero ang summarization dito to is, dili jud importante nga, like mo kuanta sa mga trends kay after all those things, makahanaw na gapon ta, usikar gapon to kwarta. So, makuan gapon ta, makahanatag, dili to makapalipay na to. Mamuratag makuan. So, na ako'y question ninyo guys. How can we effectively transition from a consumer-driven mindset to one focused on mindfulness and contentment? And what benefits might this shift bring to our lives? So, boss, Javier.
Para naho lang is, dapat mag-practice the gratitude. Let's foster a sense of gratitude by acknowledging and appreciating the abundance already present in one's life. Dapat thankful ta kung unsay naabitaw ta, dili kay kung di ba naa natay ingana kita nga butang na we realize na kanang grabe iyang tabang para nato, tas mangita pajuglain kay mao lagi na tas katong gipangita ra ba kay dali ra very short term ra ang paggamit bitaw sa mga unsa marami. So mo to dapat be mindful ang good pod sa pag-consume. Dapat mag-set ka og kanang boundaries. Chuchu. Para man to. Did I answer your question, Miss Michaela?
Thank you, boss. So we will proceed to our last episode, which is episode 6.
In episode 6, we will tackle about redefining success towards a sustainable future. Consumerism is unsustainable, both for the planet and for our well-being. In our final episode, we explore the urgent need to shift towards a more sustainable way of living. We discuss the environmental, social, and economic impacts of rampant consumption and highlight initiatives and movements working towards a more equitable and regenerative future. Join us as we envision a world where success is measured not by what we own, but by the positive impact we make on the world around us. Regarding to episode 6, there is an article entitled The Unsustainability of Consumerism. Consumerism, the relentless pursuit of material possessions and the never-ending cycle of acquisition, has become deeply ingrained in modern society. However, this insatiable desire for more is proving to be unsustainable, both environmentally and socially. So at its core, consumerism promotes the idea that happiness and fulfillment can be found through the accumulation of goods. This constant need for newer, bigger, and better products has led to the overexploitation of natural resources, environmental degradation, and the exacerbation of climate change. From the extraction of raw materials to the disposal of waste, every stage of the production consumption cycle exacts a toll on the planet. So, naba mo questions, guys? Or need mo og kanang justification about that? Or maghatag na ako ng example?
Example lang siguro, an example on how it is unsustainable.
Okay, so one example is kining sa fashion industry kintahay, no? Sa ani nga industry, they make a lot of clothes quickly and cheaply. Pero after ana bitaw kay dili ba pud mag-last ng kanang mga sinina nato kay labi di mo ka mauman laba. Torinan yung nag-appeal ng magisig-isig na ng inyong sinina. Yes. Say kaila. Okay. So nga na, no? And effect na it making a lots of waste, di ba? So also, consumerism makes unfairness between rich and poor people worse because murag i-focus bitaw nila nga because it focuses on making rich people happy and doesn't think about other people poor, labi na sa mga poor people kay murag mahal kaayo bitaw pes ni kinsa man ha ni Heart Evangelista kintahay nga na ay walk-in closet kinadaghanan kayo ba masuot ba niya tanan
Para ni Imod naman
grabe kayo daghan kayo. And to fix this, I think we need to change how we think about buying things, no? We should also care more about what we buy and make sure it's good for the environment and fair. Fair, no fair, dapat patas for everyone. And if we do this, we can make the world better for the future.
Thank you for tuning in Consumed, where we're redefining what it means to live consciously in a world dominated by consumerism. Join us as we uncover practical strategies, inspiring stories, and thought-provoking insights to navigate towards a more sustainable and fulfilling life. Together, let's challenge the status quo, embrace mindful choices, and embark on a journey towards a brighter, more purposeful future. Until next time, stay tuned, stay mindful, and stay empowered.